Educating, informing, serving. Fact TV, keeping government honest.
To order and welcome everybody here to attend, and thank you for coming. Basically, Bill will read the notice of the public hearing, and then we'll get into public comment. So, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, we're all here pursuant to the notice of public hearing, and that notice says pursuant to 24 VSA sections 43, 84, and 85, the Grafton Select Board will hold what it expects to be the Select Board's final public hearing on the new Grafton Town Plan 2019 to 2026 on Thursday, December 12th, 2019, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Grafton Town Garage. The purpose of this hearing is to consider the adoption of a new town plan after providing opportunity for public comment. Copies of the full text of the proposed plan as approved by the Select Board on November 8th, together with the Planning Commission's report dated January 31st, and then there is a new town report that has been available online, also that was dated the 10th of December, are available at the Grafton Town Office or on our website on the town plan page, and a new report on this was presented will be presented tonight. It's here. If anybody wants a copy of it, there are a few around. I don't see any more here, but they were here before. That notice, along with the rest of what is seen up here down to this point on the notice that's on the screen, was sent to all the budding towns, because I was asked by the
Technology.
I was asked by the well, I guess we aren't going to use that. I was asked by the town attorney to redo the notices because the notices may not have been properly given back in January of 2018. And so we redid all the notices to the neighboring towns. And then, so I did all that on the 8th of November. I emailed it digitally to all the towns. I have all the receipts, and that's what I was going to show you. I have all the receipts of the neighboring towns for having received the notice. And in addition to that, on the 8th of November, I sent it for publication. It was actually published on that notice. The same notice was published on November 13th. And then it was sent to, as I said, all the neighboring towns, the Wyndham Regional Commission, the Housing Community Development, to our clerk, and to the clerk, and to the Planning Commission, as all is required by law. And then it was posted in the library, at the market, and 2 places in the town hall. And I have receipts for all those to show that the publication was done in a timely manner. And I wanted to put all that on the record so that we know that we made up for any deficiency, if there is one, from earlier in the year. And I apologize, I have no idea what happened here. It is if the computer gave up. We've been having a lot of problems with our computers at work.
Okay, at this time, then, we'll entertain any public comment on the town plan.
And then they get it back.
So then you gotta turn it back. See, that's why he's that tall.
Do we have any comment? If we have no comment, does the select board have any comments on the town plan?
I think we're ready to, at least in my opinion, I think we're ready to move forward.
Well, I do have a comment, and I have an issue with, two issues with the plan. One is the maps, and one is the language where it says, but future development should be weighed against the desire to preserve the area in reference to resource lands. Those are my two areas of concern.
I have already expressed my concern at the past hearing of the maps and the classification. David addressed it in his letter to us, but unfortunately, I still have an issue with it as well.
Then if there are no other comments by anybody, then we'll close the public hearing, I guess, and begin the,
Yeah, I would just
oh, go ahead.
add,
Sorry.
you know, if there are concerns, there is nothing in the plan that can't be addressed and changed through the amendment process. But the alternative to not going forward at this point is starting over. So just
That's a
retain
fair-
that perspective.
That's a fair comment, but there's two issues. Will the planning commission go forward? The select board or the people don't have a say in that. The planning commission could change, as well as the select board could change. So there's really no guarantee that the maps or the language in the plan can be modified at a future date. I mean, you could say it, but there's no guarantee. That you can't write something into the language that says the planning commission must address the issues. It's up to the planning commission to address the issues.
Right.
The select board has no authority to tell the planning commission what to do or how to do it.
So at this point, assuming the vote goes the same as it did at our last hearing, it would then go, the plan as we have it, would go to the voters to decide.
That is correct.
At this date of January 13th.
That is correct.
So the voters could decide that they like the maps or they don't like the maps, and we'll know then what happens next.
Yeah, exactly. I have to be honest with you, I'm talking for myself now, not from the board, is that I was not in favor of having the town plan approved by the voters, but as I think I think about it, I think it's an excellent change, because it takes away from the planning commission or from the select board, and it goes to the voters, and the voters then can speak and make their comments, whether they want it or they reject it. So I think that was a very good change, even though the vote was only by one. My personal opinion.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
At this point? Yeah. So could you repeat what you're saying, you said about, I didn't quite catch it, about why there's no guarantee that it can be changed?
Because the planning commission, there's no requirement for the planning commission to amend the plan. They don't have to do anything with the plan until 29, I guess, I think.
Well, it's good for 8 years.
It's good for 8 years. The select board cannot tell the planning commission that they need to look at the plan. The planning commission operates on their own, and members of the planning commission change. There's individuals might come in and they might have a different view of the plan than the present planning commission has. And even if it was amended by the planning commission, then the select board's gonna change. You gotta remember, we have 3 openings, or at least 2. I'm not sure whether Chris is gonna run or not, but we have 2 openings for the select board in March. The select board could change. And the plan could be amended, and then select board could reject it. I mean, so there's no guarantee, Dick, that it can be amended. Yes, it can. Yes, you can say it can be amended, but there's no guarantee that it will be amended. And as I see it, there's no way that you can put in writing that it has to be amended by the planning commission or by anybody else. So that's why, that was my comment. Yes,
And by that same token, you could amend it, and a new planning commission can come in and change it.
no, we can't amend it. The planning
No,
commission-
if you, the things that you don't like, if you try to change it, I mean, you just don't know what the future's gonna be. 'Cause
Exactly.
you're right, the board's always gonna change, so no matter what plan you ultimately vote today, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, it could be totally different. The important thing, I think, is to get the plan voted on so we can move forward.
I do want to make one minor change. That would be on the cover of it. That should, we're not going to be able to get this thing actually intact and out by 2019. Probably should change that date to 2020.
I would suggest it be 2020,
To
2028.
2028,
Yeah.
to reflect the actual time frame.
In place of
the plan.
2019, 26. And if you were to make that change at the meeting,
Yeah,
you don't make anything at the hearing, you make that change at the meeting. I've already asked the attorney, and the attorney said that is not a material change. So you can make that change and still make the deadline.
Susan?
Mr. Chair, will there be opportunity for public comment in the select board meeting by, no. So I do have a question. Would you just please refresh our memories? What will happen if the town plan is not approved? What would the ramifications of that be?
I would prefer if you're done with the hearing's about the town plan. If you want to go into the approval and what's going to happen there, I prefer you go to the meeting.
We can do
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. I just didn't see a part for public comment there, Bill, but I'm happy to hold that, for sure.
Are there any other public comment from the board or from the audience or residents or whatever? If not, then let's close the public hearing and then we can go into the meeting of the select board.
I think you just need to declare it closed, Mr. Chair.
What?
Declare it closed.
Okay, yeah, the hearing is now closed. Okay, so we need a motion to, I guess, to adopt the agenda.
Yep. So moved.
Let me put the agenda up, and I apologize for all the other stuff, but this is the agenda. I'll just put it up.
Is that, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Who moved?
I can stand.
Stan,
Thanks, Dan.
already, all in favor of moving, moving on to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay,
If you want me to, I can address the agenda. The agenda is long because I wanted everybody here, and as I posted and sent it out, I wanted everybody to understand exactly what the options were and what is the result of those options, okay? So, if there's substantial change is any change that changes the meaning. If you were to add one sentence, most likely, that's a substantial change. We can't get into semantics, and we're not going to argue whether it's a substantial change or not a substantial change. If you make a change, it's a substantial change, because if you don't consider it a substantial change, and the court 6 months from now decides it is a substantial change, then you start all over. So if you make any change at all, in there can be no town plan. This town plan is rejected. That's what all that language there says. If you do it, because there's no way to have a hearing, a vote on it by Australian ballot before January 15th. And January 15th is the date of the last public hearing. There were 3 more meetings on it, but the last public hearing was January 15th. Okay, so January 15th is the drop dead date. In order for us to meet that, you would have to approve it and then do all the rest of these things under the last part of the of the agenda. And I have to post it tomorrow. We can't delay this hearing for a couple days. It has to be posted tomorrow, because that's 30 days from the 13th of January. And you might be able to get away with the 14th, but the 14th wasn't a good date, that's why we picked the 13th. Okay, so it has to be posted tomorrow, it has to be published, then I'll send it to the newspaper, they'll probably publish it. I don't know if they'll publish it next week or the following week with Christmas. I just wanted to get it to them soon enough that they can publish the thing so that I don't miss that publication date. And then you'll need to set a informational meeting because it's an Australian ballot. And then that informational meeting would be on January 7th at 6 o'clock at the school. That's what I'm asking you to do. And then the vote would be all day. It's Australian ballot, so it's all day on January 13th. There will be absentee ballots. So there'll be people can vote at any time as soon as those ballots are ready. We hope to have the ballots ready before the end of the year. Don't know exactly when it'll be done. They're pretty easy to do, but she has to send them off to the printer, she thinks, but we may be able to print them ourselves. It doesn't take anything, just put a box on it, yes, no, and do it. So we might be able to do it ourselves, but so hopefully they will be ready fairly soon. And all the notices for the election and everything will be on the bulletin boards up in front. So those are your options. If you make any change at all, it's done. It goes back to the planning commission, they start all over with new hearings. If you make a motion to reject it and you do that, that's the one in the middle there. But if you don't approve it at the top, then that's you that rejected it. And then, or you approve it by a majority, and then I would like you to do all the rest of those things statutorily so that we can have the meeting on the 7th and the public information night on the 7th and the town meeting on the 13th. The town meeting consisting of people being able to vote from 9 to 7. And there's no meeting at the school, none of that, it's just a vote. And there's only one article to vote on.
Okay, does everybody understand that? Okay. I have a motion that I'd like to make, and I make this with a very heavy heart, but I just cannot, and I don't expect it to pass, but that's okay. I just can't accept the map, and I still don't understand why the land has been changed from the original map, the old town plan. And I don't like the future development to be weighed against desire to preserve the area. To me, that's an Act 250 flag. So my motion is that I would have the town plan be changed to eliminate the future development should be weighed against.
Can you wait till I get to that?
Sure.
What page you on?
Page 9. Are you ready, Bill?
It is on page,
9 on my plan, I'm assuming it's the same.
and wait a second.
It's under resource land.
Yes, right here, okay. Wait a second, let me blow it up a little bit. It's this sentence that begins with resource lands can be.
See it on the screen?
I don't see the button there.
It's there.
Just above the.
Oh, yeah, there.
But future development should be.
And as I continue, that I'd like to say that's stricken from the plan, and I'd like to see the map that was put in the plan of 2012? 8, be replaced, put in the plan, and the one in the present plan be eliminated.
Okay, I can counter.
Yes.
Wait 1 second.
No, we have to have a second, if there's a second here.
Second.
Yes.
Have you followed the breadcrumbs as to how we achieve the new map? from the old map?
I have not-
And the incorrections, the problem with the old map, there's problems on the old map that were corrected in the new map, if you look at it correctly.
Well, I don't, I
You
have,
haven't looked at it correctly, and you haven't followed the breadcrumbs as to how we got there.
I just don't, I have not had a real explanation of why this map has been changed. I have to tell you that,
Do you know Act 171?
excuse me,
Do you know what Act 171 is?
I'm not really familiar with it, no. to be
Then you
honest.
should know if you're looking at that map.
Well, explain it to me.
Forest blocks and wildlife corridors.
Well, okay, maybe that's the X, then I
Sounds
don't
like
like
you
X
don't have enough
71.
information to even make a decision.
No, listen, I made my motion, and, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, and I don't expect my motion
I
to go
think there's
anywhere.
quite a few that are entitled to that same opinion.
But that's it.
And agree on it.
Do we have any discussion on the motion? If not, we should call the question. Okay?
Call the question.
Alan?
Call the question.
Okay?
Are you gonna
So-
vote on calling the question?
No, we're just gonna vote.
Okay, you gotta be clear what you're voting on.
We're gonna vote on my
Call the
motion,
question,
either up or down.
Right, voting on your motion.
Right.
Correct.
Alan?
Aye.
Chris?
No.
Stan?
No.
Kathy? No. Yes. Okay. The plan is then goes forward. Do we need to make a motion?
Well, no, I think we need to vote
Yes.
Do we need?
on the plan itself.
Right, okay, that's what I thought, okay? So now that that's out of the way, I'm on record, and that's all I need to have. So, we need a motion now to approve the plan,
November 8th.
as presented.
I would make a request to
Yes.
change the name of the plan before you make
Yes.
further motion.
I'll make that in the motion. I make a motion that the board adopt the town plan dated November 8th, 2019, with the change of the date on the front cover, 2020 to 2028.
Did we also change, did we already change the photo?
Yes.
Oh, that was done, yes,
Okay.
that was it.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. No? Okay, so we have 4 yeses, 1 no. Alan votes no.
Yes. You voted no?
No, I voted yes.
Oh, you did?
I said 4 yeses,
Yes.
1 no.
Yes.
Well, then I guess, if there's any public comment, and then we can adjourn the meeting. Obviously, we've completed the plan, we'll go forward now to a public vote, and whatever happens,
No,
happens.
I want you to do some more work.
Okay,
You can do it all in one motion, and you can just refer to all this and say you want to do all that, and I'll write it all up. But what I need you to do is to, so you have adopted the town plan, you want, and it will be sent, you are adopting it for the purpose of sending it to the special town meeting on January 13th at 7 p.m. at the town hall. And, well, I would do that first, so.
can we save time and just say that's what we want to do?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I'll make that motion that we move forward. There were no substantial changes made to the town plan that was voted on November 8th, and we proceed forward with the items listed below,
Okay, all of them?
all of them.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I can handle that.
Any discussion? Say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now, if there's no other public comment,
Suzanne has a
Suze,
question.
you have a
Yeah,
question?
no, just going back to the question I asked earlier, just could you please refresh our memory on the ramifications of voting in the Australian ballot of the town voting against against the town plan, not approving the town plan, I should
If the
say.
town plan gets voted down by the
Yes.
residents,
Yes,
then they start over again.
The whole thing failed.
and are there ramifications of that with respect to the town, any benefits that might derive to the town or not? What are those?
I think those could be discussed more beneficially at the informational meeting,
But there are.
but there are some.
Okay, so the plan would be to wait until January 7th for us to get into that topic.
That would be my recommendation, because it's a lengthy discussion, and there's a lot of big questions, and I think it would be better to have whoever attends a larger number, and let it get out, so that, people can actually decide whether they want to vote for it or against it,
Okay.
based on the ramifications.
I'm just wondering then if there could be some kind of information sheet or something, if it's complex, that would help us process that information, because I think that is going to be an important factor in people's decision to vote for or against the town plan, because it sounds like it's a bigger issue than simply the content of the town plan.
Okay, I think we could probably do that, Bill?
There's things you can or cannot do with the town plan. Those, I know a few, but I don't know all of them. And so instead of talking about a few and leaving out a whole bunch of important ones, I'd rather do the research and make sure I have them all.
That sounds fine.
I mean, there's no issue. We would certainly get it to the public so that people have a fully understanding of what they're actually voting for.
Exactly.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Yep. But I think it'd be just better to do it than when we've had time
Yes.
to prepare for that.
Thank
Any
you.
other public comment? If not, somebody make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you for coming. Remind everybody that Monday the 16th is a regular select board meeting.